It's nice to meet you, Kiyan.
It's very nice to meet you too.
In what ways does your film challenge or develop forms and conventions of real media products?
A conventional psychological thriller includes at least one of the characters playing mind games with themselves. In our opening sequence, we portray this through a ghost who haunts our main character, Patel. The ghost acts as a danger to our main character, but at the mental level, which is another convention of a psychological thriller. Furthermore, like all opening sequences, we have titles and title slides. Finally, a very distinct feature of a psychological thriller is that it had non-linear editing, so there are flashbacks or montages in the film. These conventions are portrayed in films like American Psycho, Seven, and Panic Room. We have also challenged conventions as we have an Asian protagonist. Usually the protagonist is white.
That was quite interesting. Okay, what kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why?
The type of media institution that will probably distribute our film are Vertigo Films and Verve Films. This is because our film is very low budget and doesn't have any sort of well-known crew and cast making the film, so it won't attract a huge set of fans. Also, because I believe our film is a Category A British film and these companies produce British films.
Thank you. Who would be the audience for your media product?
The audience for my film will be around the age of 16 to 30 and mostly be males. This is because our film doesn't have much action and special effects and so won't be able to attract younger teens, and the genre of our film is mainly watched by the male population.
Interesting. How did you attract and address your audience?
We addressed our audience by doing a survey and asking questions like which genre they like the best and why. We mainly took the response given by 16 to 30-year-old males, as that is what our target audience was. We attracted our audience by telling people in our target audience about our ideas and how we can make it better. So, along with spreading the word about our film, we got feedback in how we could make our film better. And so our film will have incorporated things from the feedback. And so these people will want to come and watch the film as their input has been put into our film.
What have you learnt about technologies from the process of constructing this product?
I have learnt many conventions about technology through this process. One major convention I learnt was about blogs. Before this process, I had no idea what a blog was. But now I am using it not only for this process, but to help my family with a charity which we are organizing for people in India. I have learnt how to embed documents and clips from YouTube onto the Blogger, which I never knew how to do before. I have learnt a lot about how to edit on iMovies. Before this process, I was unable to use iMovies, but now I can use it to edit footage together.
And finally, looking back at the preliminary task, what do you feel you have learnt in the progression from it to the full product?
From the preliminary tasks of this process, I've learnt many things. From iMovies 09 especially, I've learnt how to edit and put together an opening sequence on it. From filming, I found that it is very difficult to adjust and move the camera on the stand. We have a wobbly shot in our opening sequence due to this, but the wobbling still works as it makes our opening sequence seem as a dream. In respects to planning and preparation of our opening sequence, we learned that you have to be very organized and have to ask for permission to film in a public train station. And due to this, we couldn't completely finish our station scene as shown on our storyboard. We have found doing audience research the most important part of this process. This is because it is our audience who are going to watch our film and who are going to be judgmental and critical of our work. We as the directors and editors will think that our film is quite good, but to the actual audience our film could be very poor. Finally, what has been the most important technique I have learned from this entire process will have to be make sure you film according to the storyboard and take each scene at least 3 times. This way, when it comes to editing, we don't have to drift away from our initial ideas.